Hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to the stream, welcome to part 2 working on our F-16 Aggressor made by Tamiya, 1/48 scale. Let me get the intro going and we'll get started. Alright guys, we are back. And we're going to continue on. I think today is going to be a little bit of assembly and a lot of painting. I think there's a lot of painting I need to get done on this. I am actually running out of paint, so I got to make a trip to the hobby store in the next couple of days and get some restocking on my insignia white and my neutral gray. That's going to be next on my plan, on my list. We got the little cockpit bucket finished yesterday, so that's all done. That's good. So the next step is working on our, what they're calling the main landing gear bay, or well, that they mentioned in the book, but it also doubles as our kind of our intake, or the rear part of the intake anyway. So I'm going to do an assembly on this. I was just going to grab some Tamiya white spray can and just do the whole thing like that while it's all on the sprues. And I looked around and guess what, I'm out of the Tamiya white. I don't have the spray can, but I do have Tamiya X2, and so I can use that. I just got to do the airbrush thing instead of the rattle can. So I have it fire up my air compressor there. So I'm going to do that. I don't know if I have to thin this first. Yeah, see, even my X2, it's getting low and it's thick, so I'm going to have to thin that too. Yeah, so once I get this assembled, we're going to jump ahead almost to the back of the book where they're continuing on the cockpit, because I want to get the instrument cluster done and get these little 3D parts, or resin parts, put onto that. I also have to do some painting on that too. So let's just, I'll change the camera and we can get started here on our little bit of assembly first. So we're working on this section here. This is what needs to be assembled, and then the whole thing is going to be white, with the exception, of course, with our fans. We're not going to be doing the CD, we're doing the A version of this particular plane. And so we want to use that piece there, H2, not Q3. So there's two different fans, two different versions in this plane, right? So let's do this, and we'll find our tree. So we need our J tree, and it looks like our C tree, J and C. So let's find these in our box. Here's our J tree, and we need C. We have two C trees. No, we don't. We never do. We got two C trees, so I'm not sure which C tree we need, but we'll figure that out in a minute. Alrighty, put those here. Let's see. I do want to change my glasses before we get into this. So let's see, so we need J24. Where's my nippers here? J24. This guy here. Now I did prime all of these already, so I primed all of my sprues already, so they're no longer the factory color. So I need J31 and 32. These two. J31 and 32, and that's it, right? Okay. Well, we're going to need J18 and 15 and 26 and 27. all of these pieces here. Okay, it's 27. We need 18 and 15, these two big guys. Be careful when you're trimming these off. We've got little pins that you don't want to trim off. Okay, there's 15 and 18. And we need 26. This little guy right here. Okay, they're gonna go there and be happy. You're gonna be happy whether you like it or not. That doesn't make sense, but who doesn't like being happy, right? Okay, so we start with this, and we're gonna put these two guys on. So just gonna make sure everything's cleaned up. I'm going to have to spray it with my X2 white. I wanted to go to the hobby store yesterday and get this and get it done, but I wound up not being able to go. It was too late and the hobby store was closed. So this is going to go right there. Can't. It must be this one. Yes. Just like that. Is it just like that? The pin on one side doesn't want to go in. Maybe I have it backwards. Let's try this way. It fits perfectly that way. So obviously, orientation matters. Now, there are pros and cons to the order in whether or not you paint before you put it together or you paint it after. And you have to decide for yourself which is better. So, and I'll tell you mine. So, I like to paint the white before it's all assembled because it's a lot easier to get into any little nooks and crannies before you assemble it all. Once it's all assembled, you kind of create these little corners and places that are really hard to get in there with the paint. And so by painting before you have anything assembled, you basically eliminate all those. Unfortunately, the drawback that I find to painting before you assemble is when you do assemble it and you apply glue to it, sometimes the glue kind of wipes the paint away on you, and then you have parts that you need to touch up. So I think those are basically the two pros and cons that I have encountered anyway to painting either before or after. Let's see, so we need C4 twice, and then we need C7 twice. So I'm going to guess that we've got one on each. Yes, we've got C4 and C7. So let's start with the 4s. There's one. So we've got one on each sprue. Where are we here? Number 4. So do my 4s first. Okay. The C4 is going to go into that little slot here and here. So we have what looks like we've got the main center guy, center peg. Okay, we get into the black here so you can see a little bit. Okay, you got your main one in the middle, and then we've got 2 on one side and 1 on the other. We want to have the 2 facing this side, this skinnier side. You want it facing that way, according to the instructions. And it's just going to go into that little slot right there, like that. Okay. So for these guys, I'm going to use my a little bit thicker glue. Kind of grab onto it here. A little tricky. Let's try that. You don't want to lose it to tweezer fire. You guys ever had a part in your tweezers and then it just mysteriously decides, I want to leave this planet? Find it doesn't really want to sit all the way down in there. It might be because I didn't really clean up the nub on it very much. Yeah, this one fits a lot better. So this one doesn't. That's okay though. It's a very minor detail. I don't think it's going to really interfere with anything. As long as it's flush, that's all that matters. Okay, that's those. So now we need our C7s, and they're going to go into these two. C7 was this one here. Okay. It's over here. And our other C7, just like that. C7, it looks like these are almost the same. It's kind of really hard to tell. It looks like maybe this one is a little thicker than on this side, and the thicker one should go towards the middle. That's basically how it looks to me. I'm going to do a little test fit on here. Yep, fits good. There we go. Okay, there's one. I'm going to assume that since the other one fit perfect, this one will too. Hopefully Tamiya doesn't let me down. And this one fits perfect also. Alright. Got two little, I don't know, solenoid valves. I don't know what those are. But yeah. Okay, so that's it for this part. Looks like we got a decal that they want us to put on J26 on our little tank, this thing here. But we'll be doing that much later after it's all painted, right? Okay, so before we put the bottom half on, let's put these guys on. J26 is going to sit on this part here with our little lid or our little spout facing towards the inside. So I'm going to put glue on here, and I actually caught it before it hit the floor. How about that? It's not really a precise fit, it just kind of sits on there. Okay. in the picture it looks like our spout sits straight up, but they don't have the hole in it in such a way that it would do that. Well, maybe it does. Okay, I'm going to put it like that. Sits straight up, which means there's two. Okay, you guys saw that mounting point is actually two little arms that stick up like this, and I don't have it sitting straight on it like this. It's actually tilted to the side, so it's like this. Okay, and that's how it's sitting in there. Okay, you can see that. You can really see this one sticking up, but on this side it's much lower and covered on there. Okay, you can kind of see in that angle how it's kind of not really centered on it. Okay, now we have these. This is J18. We want to have our detail facing towards the inside, and it's going to go right here. It looks like our little pegs are actually D holes and not circles, so that should help in getting it all aligned and sitting nicely. You can sit it right against that peg. For a little bit of rigidity. I'm probably putting way more glue on here than I really need. It feels like it's a nice firm sitting, and it's not really going to go anywhere. Next we have this one. Again, we've got a flat side and then we've got a detail side. Detail is to go towards the inside. Now this is another example of how getting paint all in here would be much easier if I pre-painted it than if I just do it when it's on the actual thing and it's assembled. But this is where I'm breaking outside of my comfort box, and I'm going to paint it all as one assembled unit. There we go. Okay, there's that. Now we have the bottom piece, which I think I need to clean up a little bit here. I don't think it really matters whether you clean up your nubs on this so much. Maybe when it's actually you're trying to put the fuselage together, maybe that's when your tolerances become important. I don't know. For all I know, there's a lot of room on each side of this intake runner, and you never see it anyway. Okay, so this is going to go like this. We do have a couple of pegs to go into these little notches like that, and that's what lines this up. And we got a bit of we've got a seam on the inside there. You could spend a whole bunch of time. I don't bother really trying to eliminate my seams on the inside of my intakes, because it's, you got to get special sanding tools. You got to fill that in there, and it's really just all for what, Again, my models aren't going into any kind of a competition or a show, and so it doesn't really matter. They sit on a shelf. I never look at them any closer than from a foot away. I never go back and examine them. So it's not that important, Now, that's not to say that I don't care. If the seam line is really bad, or it's a real big gap in there, and you can see it really easily, Then I'll take some time, put a little putty in there, kind of sand it down, that kind of thing. Now the back end where the actual fan is, that doesn't matter at all. But anyway, we have our main intake. Obviously this is the front, the round part is where the fan is going to go, but I got to paint the fans first. And now we get to the painting portion of this video. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is paint this all white. I'm going to paint it white on the inside too. Okay, which means I got to get my X2 out, and I want to grab H2 off of the sprue. I'm going to find the H sprue. Here we go. I just had the H sprue. What did I do with it? Right here. H2, this guy here, this is our fan, our intake fan. Our intake fan. Now this guy is going to go, we've got a little notch there, it's going to go right in there like that. Okay. Fits on just like that. It's tight fit, right? But that's fine. If you're really worried about it, you could shave this down. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that because I am going to be painting it. So we'll just kind of give this a little bit of a chamfered edge, like this, so it's not such a crisp edge. Okay. And we'll see if this is a little more willing. Nah, not really. Let's try sanding it. It could be the inside edge that's being stubborn. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, that fits a lot easier now. Okay, it's just not quite so tight. It fits a little easier to slide. Now, of course, you put glue on there, this is going to slide right in as deep as it's supposed to go. Okay, so there's your view of the fan. Isn't that great? Okay, that's how much you can see in there, right? Doesn't it look awesome? In other words, that's really how much you're going to see in there. You don't have light ever coming in from this side, so it's really, you have to shine a light in there. You got to shine a light down in there to see anything at all. Anyway, so the fan is supposed to be iron colored. So what I'm going to do is grab tape, simply because, you know what, I don't need to do this. I don't need to tape it down. I'm going to do this. That, but I'm going to do it on an angle like that so I can avoid spraying my hand when I spray paint that. Okay, but that's going to be second. I need to paint the white first, and while I'm at it, I'm going to be painting some of the landing gear pieces while I have the paint in my airbrush. Okay. So I get that mixed up. And the other thing I need to do is thin this out quite a bit. See, it's getting down towards the bottom, so much so that even putting in there, it barely even shook it around very much. I've got to thin this out quite a bit. So I'm going to grab some thinner. And thin this out. Essentially doubles the amount that I have, because I'm mixing it about 50-50 roughly. So now I've got almost half a bottle left. My spinner just stopped working on me. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Okay. So now I got lots of paint. I've got lots of X2. Okay. So let's pour some in my brush. All right. I got my painting cam set up so you guys can watch me paint today. Okay, so I'll change the cam. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Okay, hi. I'm over here. I'm over here, guys. Okay, so I am going to put on my glove. Just realized my glove is ripped. My poor glove is ripped. Anyway, I can do this, but I'm just going to do that. Hold on to it like that. We'll start by painting the inside of it. Oops, I just broke my little ball off. Okay, let's get this reacquainted with its home. Let's get glue back on this, just a sec here. Okay. I find with the white, especially after you've thinned it, you have to do it in layers. Get your initial kind of a dry coat down on it and then go after it later on. Okay, so there's that. Getting there, so now I'll go back in here. right, now time for a little bit heavier coat. Pulling back on the trigger a little bit further and putting on that paint layer a little thicker. Okay, one final coat on here. There we go. Okay, that's done. Let's put this over here. Now, like I said before, I want to do a few of the landing gear parts while I'm at it, while it's on the sprue. So I want to get a few of these parts here that I know are going to be white. Since I've got white in the brush already, I might as well at least get like a preliminary coat on them. And kind of get them started. I don't know, because I need to actually cross-reference the instruction manual to see. This looks like a landing gear bay door on the inside. These might be some struts of some sort. If I wind up painting something white that's not supposed to be, and oh well, I just painted the other color it's supposed to be later. That's the way I look at it. Headgear here. So that we can eliminate the shadows. Let's flip this over. We got to do both sides of all these parts. I know these are going to be white. All these little brackets and things. Also remember, parts are three-dimensional, so you got to get all 6 sides if you can. Wheel on here. Just double checking my work to make sure I got it all. Looking pretty good, I think. again, when it's on the sprue, sometimes it's hard to get all your angles. Let's see if you've got anything on here. This, I don't know. Landing gear strut. That totally looks like might as well do a wheel here. And this one too. Which tells me I got another wheel somewhere I'm going to need. There it is. Off of the other C tree. A lot of things like missiles and stuff, that's all going to be white. Some of them anyway. Every now and then I just blast the gun out to make sure if I'm getting any kind of tip drying that ain't actually, that I can blow it out and it's and it works good. Okay, I think we are done. We're done with the white. Okay. Okay, so we're done with the white, which means I can clean up my brush in preparation for our intake fan that needs to go on there. Have a little bit left over. This is where I'm going to edit the video for you guys watching on YouTube. Light gunmetal LP20. We'll do that. Okay, do that. I just realized pouring this out of here, my gunmetal is not thinned, so it might not spray very well. So this will be an interesting little spray test. Let's see how it goes. There might be a little residual thinner. Actually doing not bad job. Not bad. Not bad. I am having to pull back on the trigger a lot more than I normally do, but got the job done. It's now nice and metallic color. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. I'm surprised it actually sprayed okay. I would not want to spray a big part with it because it's really, I wouldn't want to spray a panel or something like that with it. So this is painted now, so I can put this on the edge, like so. And yes, you can see it. Yes, you can see my seam lines. So let me change the camera and I'll show you. Now that it's been painted white, you can see in there. Now this is painted white. You can, well, the camera doesn't really show this the seam very well, but I can see them really plainly, as plain as day. And now that it's been painted white in there, I can see that you can see you can see that there's something back there. The camera doesn't really show it. I can actually see it now with the metallic surface kind of reflecting the light, and the white actually letting light in there now. Yeah, you can see it. It's not great, but it's okay. I'm thinking maybe I'm not going to bother trying to fill our seam lines in there. I'm not going to bother with that. Okay. What I am going to do is glue our intake fan on. Let's get this on here. Okay. Intake fan firmly pressed on. There we go. Okay, that's his new home, and that's where it's going to sit. Okay, all right. So this is done, except for our little decal we're going to put on later on. Okay. Now I could put it into the fuselage now, but we're going to skip. We're just going to wait because I want to skip ahead, way ahead in the book, to step 21. I want to assemble the other part of our cockpit pieces because I want to get these installed. Okay, and that's the main reason why I want to do this. Okay, so we have this piece here. Okay, this is A4. So let's find our A tree. A tree. A4 right here. Okay. There's this guy. A4. And we need this here. What is this? This, we're going to be assembling these pieces. A5, 6. A5 and 6. And then L11. Of course, we're doing A, B, and C. We're not doing the D. That's why I've scribbled this all out so I don't accidentally do this part, right? But I need L11. So where's our L tree? L11, that might be clear. Yes, it is. L11 is this clear guy right here. We obviously have some kind of emergency out near the airport. Now, second batch of sirens going by. Okay, I'm going to take my broken glove off here because it's getting in my way. Oops, now I don't have a thumb. Okay, so these two need to be cleaned up. I'll explain why I've jumped ahead to do this. I want to get the cockpit, I want to get these out of my way. It's basically the main reason. I want them out of my way. I want to get them glued on and done. At the same time, I need to paint this, right? And so I need to paint this part. I need to get all the detail off of this shaved down so that these will glue on. That's going to be a fun part. So these two halves go together. I this. I've got nubs here, so I gotta clean those. Right there. There. Put these two together like that. Okay. And then this goes on top. This direction. Yeah, it just goes on like that. I'm not quite sure why I think the only part is they want you to leave this one little circle clear right here, but you're going to paint the rest of it black. I think that's why they just molded the whole piece clear. Other than that, I don't see any reason why they made it clear. When you're supposed to paint the whole thing black. Okay, so there's that piece. And we're supposed to take L10, leaving most of it clear, but painting these 4 little spots black. That'll go on after. So now I'm going to focus on our main center piece here. Close up my glue. Okay, so I have to get rid of all this detail because it's got to be flat, or at least as flat as I can get it. So that my instruments will act, my decal will go on there. So I'm going to be eliminating some buttons and switches. If you've got a very small file, I think that's what's going to help you out with this process, if this is what you're planning on doing like me. A small file helps. I think I got that shaved down enough of a flat spot. Now where the display screens go, they're pretty much flat anyway, but on these little L pieces here and here, there's little buttons on them that I'm going to have to shave down. Display screens, I believe, are close enough to, or at least have enough of a flat surface to do now. Now our little L's, just do this. Just kind of lightly get rid of those buttons. Being careful not to put too much pressure. If I press down too hard, I'm going to just break the piece off, and I don't want to do that. I'm just eliminating the raised edge on it. That's all I'm doing. There we go. That's it. to clean up here. And here. There we go. We are ready, but I gotta get this painted the proper color. It's supposed to be neutral gray, just like the rest of the cockpit. So, get my neutral gray. This one I will do, I'll just paint it with a brush. Let's just grab it on here. I don't think this part's going to be visible. We're going to put the canopy, kind of the cover over top of it, so it's not going to be visible. So I will just paint this with a brush. I realize I'm painting sides that are not going to be seen. I do realize that. It's just one of those things. I want to make sure it's covered. You know what I mean? I'm not really bothering too much for the center of where the panels are going. Because essentially the panels are going to cover up those spots. Okay, there we go. We got our neutral gray there. Another thing I did notice was on the top of the fuselage, or maybe it's the bottom. The top of the fuselage, we have some detail in here and in here for the cockpit, and that's supposed to be neutral gray. So while I'm at it, I might as well paint this. I don't think it really matters whether I spray paint it or not. It's again, it's a part of the cockpit that you don't really see very much. You would see that, hey, there's a different color if I left it there, but again, I don't think it matters all that much, especially brush painting it. I just did notice this step in the instructions earlier, so I might as well get it done since I've got the paint open and it's out anyway. There we go. I don't know how much this is going to be visible, so anyway, there we go. We've painted our side walls of our cockpit now. Okay, so let's just quickly clean up my brush here while this is drying. While I'm at it, I'm going to grab my, this goes here, grab my flat black and paint this guy. Now which side is up on this? That side. I'm going to have to do this. I'll paint that part later. Right now, the only thing I want to do is just paint underneath where that one part is supposed to go. Our next part is supposed to go on top here, so let's just paint in here first. So that it's done. This really is just kind of my first coat. Ideally I would spray this, but it's okay. Okay, that's done. Okay, so I'll get my CA glue. So we need the CA glue. I really do need to clean up the tip on my bottle. Okay. We're going to start with the little guy on the edge, I think. This guy here. Just get under him and get him loose off of there. Okay. I'm going to change my gripping spot on here. There. He's going to go right here. Try tweezers first. I'm not sure what he's trying to accomplish here by doing that on me. Let's try flat side. Okay, there we go. First one's on. Okay, let's do the other side. Okay. Now I want to stick to my finger. Why do you want to do that? Let's just leave him there for now. Get some glue on this side. I want to get this oriented correctly. Go. Two of them on. That's a little hard for you to see, I understand that. So next, oh, it's been 20 minutes already? Okay, the last few minutes I have, I'm going to put these on. Okay, I've got like 5 minutes here. I've got this one already taken off of the paper, so I might as well put the glue on and make him next. See if I can get under him with the tweezer. There we go. that one. That one's loose. Might as well. The last one. Oh, we're actually 2 pieces here. I didn't know that. Okay. Glue here. Oops. Come on. There. This feels like a bit of a tight fit here. There we go, got him. Good fit. Okay. Next. Our display right there, or it actually looks like a switch panel. He tried to disappear on me. Okay. Oops. Remember, you only have a second or so to align these pieces before the glue dries. If you happen to get it and so it's so airtight underneath the part that the glue can't dry right away, then that obviously buys you a little more time. But usually, once you get it set in place, it don't move. And that is the case here. And I've actually got the wrong part on here. So that's going to come off. And if I can, I want to get this part off here. Our switch panel does not go here. So I need to try and break this loose. And then put this back on without it gluing to my desk. A little more difficult with big fat fingers. And it broke. Really? It just broke off? And now I gotta try and find it. And I'm running out of time. With this piece now on my floor somewhere. Okay, well, this is just one of those things where it's just gonna have to wait because I've got to go. And yeah, I've got to go, and I can't be searching around my floor right now because I got to get ready to leave. So this is where I'm going to call it a day, guys, and that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I'll have to search for that later. Let's get this stuff out of my way and we'll be done. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for coming out. Unfortunately, this is where I just got to leave it half done like this. Anyway, we'll continue on this next time. Hit that like button down below. Check out those subscription boxes and you'll see some links and you can check those out too. If you haven't subscribed already, please do that too. And we'll see you all in the next one.